Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our services, if we can please kindly turn off all cell phones or electronic devices, or please place them on silent. Thank you.
Adonai Adam Vatzidamechu Ben Enosh Vachashvechu Adam le'avel dama Yamav kitzel over Baboker yatzitz V'chalav la'erev the moleh v'yavish tashev enosh adaka vatomer shuvu v'nei Adam. We gather with all our hearts, minds, and souls to remember Bari, to remember Mom. Who among us here has not passed through our own trials and bereavements? Some of us bear fresh wounds in our own hearts and therefore feel more keenly the kinship of sorrow with those who love and will always love Bari. Others of us whose mourning is more remote still recall when a silent hug or a kiss or a word brought comfort to our sorrowing hearts. All things pass, all that lives must die, all that we prize is but lent to us. We are travelers on the same road that leads to the same end. So we gather with many mixed emotions. We gather with the knowledge of knowing that Bari, that Mom is no longer with us in this life, but certainly with the knowledge that in Judaism, someone never really dies. Their loves, their successes and achievements, their family and friends remember and cherish that life, Lidor Vador, from generation to generation. And certainly it is custom in Judaism for little boys and little girls to be named after those that we love, that we will always love. So I can certainly see, no rush, I can certainly see in your homes in years to come, little Barrys running around. And those little Barrys will be taught that they are named after someone so very, very special that we gather here with all of our love today and all of our memories, our respect. We gather here today to know that future generations will remember her, and that will be a blessing to her, but even more importantly, a blessing to us. So as King David wrote in the 23rd Psalm, that God will walk us through the valley of the shadow of death. King David never wrote that God will leave us there. So one day when your days of mourning are more remote, that morning you shall wake up and all that will be left in your hearts are the happy and joy-filled memories of Bari, of Mom. And those will be the memories that you will cherish and teach to the generations that come from you and through you. So if you know the traditional words of the 23rd Psalm in English, we say them out loud with all of our hearts together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He renews my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So certainly, according to your relationship with Bari, she went by many names of love to you, a family name, a formal name, a nickname, a silly name. So when we say the words, we will remember. Please say out loud the name that Bari will forever be known to you as, the name that you called her in this life from your heart, and the name that you will call her when you have the honor and the privilege and the blessing of thinking and dreaming about her. Say that name out loud in the rising of the sun, and at its going down, we will remember. When the fall turns into the chill of winter, we will remember. When the winter turns into the rebirth and the beauty of spring, we will remember. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we will remember. When we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember. So long as we live, she too will live, for she is now a part of us, as we will always remember. To begin those words of love, we call up a Heidi.
I apologize if it's not so eloquent. Where do I begin? Bari, you were the best sister, best mom, best wife, and best friend. And they always say that parents do not have a favorite. Well, we all know that I was the favorite. Obviously, it was you, Bari. I remember I was in junior high, and I was getting in so much trouble for something trivial, and Bari prances in the kitchen and was like, "Hey, Mom, can you take me a ride to Druggy Dougie's?" And my mom's like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, but Bari can go to Druggy Dougie's, and I get in trouble for looking at them wrong. But you know what, Bari? You could do no wrong in Mom and Dad's eyes, and I loved you for it. And I got away with so much because of you, and you paved the way for me. And Bari, as different as we were, you truly were the best friend, best sister. We have been through so much together, and through it all, good and bad, you were the rock. I have so many memories with you growing up, and it is not enough time to go through them all. But it was the memories as adults that stand out. You were always the life of the party, and that is why I always asked you first to come on all my free trips. I mean, before I even finished asking if you want to go to Hawaii with me, your bags were packed, and you had just given birth to Callie 3 weeks before. You were truly the life of the party, and every trip, you just made memories. And one of my favorite memories, Bari, after I got fired from The Apprentice, you joined me on press day since Mom was in the hospital with cancer. From the Today Show to The View, you were the best PR manager I could have that day. I mean, you were the only one you told Trump to back off when he asked me if I would ride in the car with him. David, you are a brother to me. I have known you since I was 12. I mean, you taught me how to drive at 13, and you and Barry did get me drunk at every high school party. The last few months have been so rough, and I personally am in awe of how you took care of Barry. You are truly the most amazing human I really have ever met, and I love you. And like it or not, you're stuck with me, David. Kyle, Callie, your mom lived for you guys. Every day between 3:45 and 4:15, she would call me, and she would always give me on the updates on you, and I would always say, how's Henry? How's Callie? Please know, I am here for you anytime, anywhere, any place. I mean, Kyle, we are going to watch every football game together, bitch about how the Giants suck, and hope for an Eagles loss. I will be here for you always. Callie, I've already placed calls, so when the time comes, you will have the best places to get a wedding dress. I may be the crazy aunt, but I love you guys with all my heart and all my soul. Barry, the world will feel a little less bright without your smile, your laugh, and awesome singing. I will so miss our sushi dinners, cocktails at the pool, and our daily afternoon chats. I have been so blessed to have had you as a sister and grateful we live so close. Please give Mom, Dad, Bogey, and Mulligan a big hug. Finally, life is a privilege, but to live life to the fullest is a choice. And that choice, Barry, you made every day. I love you and will miss you every day.
We call up with love, Shari.
It's so hard, I don't even know where to begin. But seeing a room full of all of you who loved Barry brings me so much comfort. Barry held a double role in my life. She was my best friend and my sister-in-law. Who knew that meeting Barry 38 years ago as a freshman at Ithaca College would turn into the greatest gift I could ever imagine? Barry was always the life of the party. She loved to drink, always dancing, usually naked from the boobs down, always up for a fun night and great adventures. Since Ithaca was lacking in fraternity parties, Barry took it upon herself to open up the phone book, call all the Cornell fraternities, and get us an invite. Thanks, Bar. 139 Hudson Street housed so many of us and burned everlasting memories into each of us. We had a community jar where we collected money for our nights out at the dugout. But somehow we always managed to come home with the same amount of money thanks to the generous gentleman at the bar. Barry was best known for dancing up a storm but never knowing the words to any songs. She mouthed all the words saying watermelon so that everyone thought she knew the words. Everyone in college who knew Barry also knew Betsy, her infamous car. Whether it was leaving the car door wide open at a mall in the hopes that someone would steal it, or teaching a Jersey girl how to pump gas in New York, she hated that car. The stories from college are endless, and most of them are too inappropriate to share, so us IC girls will keep them to ourselves and in our hearts. Shortly after graduating from college, we were at a friend's wedding, and Barry said to me, I have the perfect guy to fix you up with, David's brother, Jeff. I said, if he's anything like David, I'm in. And wouldn't it be great if we wound up marrying brothers and were sister-in-laws? There began the next chapter of my life. How many people get to become sisters-in-law with their best friends and then grow their families together? We created countless memories with our children, vacationing, whether it be summers in Ocean City and Bethany Beach, or traveling to Savannah, Mexico, or Colorado. Barry was there for us through joyous occasions, but also through the darkest times of our life. Barry embodied the true meaning of friendship and family. She was always there to celebrate the happy times, but also there to support us in times of need. Really, my kids are the lucky ones, because Barry and David were like parents to Justin, Lee, and Sydney. The support and the help that they helped Jeff and I create a beautiful life for Evan is just beyond imaginable. Jeff and I would never have been able to make it through Evan's life and beyond without their support. One of my favorite memories from when Evan was alive are the time that Bari and I took the kids to the beach with a picnic. I think Kyle and Justin were both there. Well, we got attacked by seagulls and got so scared that we all ran away and left poor helpless Evan on the blanket by himself. That did not exemplify good parenting from either of us. Lee has Bari to thank for shaping her life and leading her into the profession as an occupational therapist. Bari showed her the special world of therapy. The most special time that Lee had was the summer when she lived with them and had the opportunity to live and work with Bari at Lark. Then coming home to watch Love Island 6 nights a week with the family, and of course, Lee's favorite part of the summer was her being their favorite child. One of Justin's favorite memories of Bari was participating in her school's fundraiser. You see how Lark is a theme here. Fundraiser where they walked over the Ben Franklin Bridge. The walk ended with a celebration where everyone basked in the sun while drinking beers on the turf field. Bari was amazed that the cups that the beer was served in were these tiny, shiny silver aluminum reusable cups. She thought, this is the greatest invention, and made sure she took as many as she could from home. A few months later, Justin decided to read the fine print on the bottom of the cup, which he still reads a fine print on every cup, and it clearly said, cups intended for single use only, please recycle after use. It appears Bari had confused the concept of reusing and recycling. Oops. Disgusted by the amount of metal that had been consumed from the cup, I immediately threw it out and warned Bari to do the same. However, she wasn't able to part with it and still serve drinks. They're still in the house, still serving drinks in them. Bari engraved her pride in her big, voluptuous breasts onto my little, innocent Sydney. She gifted Sydney one of her bras when she was only 5 years old. And Sydney's greatest ambition was to follow in her aunt's footsteps. And if you know my little Sid, she loves flaunting them around as much as Bari did. I don't think I can choose a favorite memory with Bari. There are so many. I loved everything about Bari, and I will forever be grateful for her setting me up with Jeff and giving me my beautiful family. Bari is the reason that we're all here together. David, Kyle, and Callie, I love you all so much and will be here to help you and support you forever. I'll make sure that you keep smiling, laughing, but also be here to shed tears with you. You all managed to take the amazing qualities that she instilled upon you. You turned the last few difficult months into special quality time together. You were there to support her in every way, not because you had to, but because you wanted to. Cherish all of the memories that you have with her. Remember how much she loved you all and how proud she was of you every single day. Thank you for allowing all of us to be part of those special times. But don't worry, you can't get rid of us that quickly. In fact, we're permanent fixtures in your life.
And to the family, especially Dave, you have already started to fill out all these forms for many reasons on behalf of Bari. And each of the forms has her birth date. And on many of the forms, there's a little dash. And after the dash is the date of her passing. Certainly, it's of the utmost importance to remember her birthday each and every year as her heavenly birthday. And in Judaism, certainly the date of her passing is so very important to light the yahrzeit, the remembrance candle. But even more important than those two bookend dates is that little dash. For that little dash is the reason all of us are here today with all our hearts and souls. That little dash is a symbol of so much love given. And certainly, as you have seen and will continue to see for years to come, so much love received. So as you continue to fill out all these forms, that simply must be done. Look at the 2 dates that surround a life, but even more importantly, look at that little dash. For that dash is Bari's life and Bari's love. And on that, certainly we can all say, Amen. We call up with much love Kyle and Cie.
Everyone that knows my family and me knows my mom is truly the greatest person that has ever walked this earth. Ever since her cancer diagnosis, she never gave up and showed me what it means to be a true badass and just how selfless she was. When she was first diagnosed, she wasn't worried about herself. Well, first, she wanted to make sure her hair wouldn't fall out. We all know she had the best hair ever. Once she realized she wouldn't lose her hair, she told my dad how much she wanted to stay alive long enough to go wedding dress shopping with me. She always put her family before anything and was more concerned about being there for us than herself. I am so sorry you won't be able to go wedding dress shopping with me in person or eventually become a gaga to our future children. Even though you won't be there physically, I will always hear your voice everywhere I go, reminding me to enjoy life to the fullest, just like you did. I will hear your laugh every time Dad makes a joke that you find hilarious, and I promise to try to laugh just as hard as you did, even though it won't be the same. I will see you in Mookie and Muggsy every time we snuggle. I'll be reminded of you every time I sing the wrong words loudly to a song. And every time Kyle dances, he really has moves just like you. She truly was the life of the party, sometimes maybe too much. I remember one year going to that school up north with our family friends, the Lazaruses, for the Ohio State Michigan game. My friend Danny and I couldn't find our moms anywhere. We walked around every fraternity and finally found them on an elevated surface at a random frat, bartending, dancing, and pouring drinks in college kids' mouths. From dancing so hard with all the dancers at bat mitzvahs, to making all of our family come to celebrate her 55th birthday this year at Cafe Wa with custom shirts, she made every second of life count. I promise you I will live life just like you and make sure to say yes to everything. My mom made an impact on every single person throughout her life. She wasn't just Kyle and I's mom, she was our best friend. She was a mom to our friends, a friend to our friends, and even was camp mom when she worked at sleepaway camp when we were younger. I remember in college, my friends' parents would visit, and no one wanted their parents to come out with us in fear of killing the vibe. I would always ask my friends, wait, I was going to invite my parents. Should I tell them not to come? And my friends would always reassure me that they don't count. and that my mom has always made the night even more fun. I could go on forever talking about my mom, but then we would never leave here. When my mom was first diagnosed, she wrote my family letters to open when she passed. This letter gave me such closure, and I want to end this speech by sharing a piece of advice, her advice. Don't sweat the small stuff. Enjoy every day as if it's your last. Don't wait till someday. Do it now. Mommy, AKA mother of mine, I love you so much, and I promise to live a life that you did. Gaga, Papa, Mamu, Papa Irwin, Evan, Molly, and Bogey, please give her a big, big hug for me. XOXO. Your favorite kid. No, I'm gonna get it out of it.
Oh boy, where to even start? I could truly go on and on and on about my mom and how wonderful of a human being she was. But more than anything, how wonderful of a mother she was to Callie and I. She was truly the definition of a glass half full person. And I was so amazed with her ability to always see the positive side of things, no matter the situation. I remember she told me, after she was diagnosed with cancer, that it does not define her and that she is still the same happy-go-lucky person, despite her life being flipped upside down. There was nothing in the world that could wipe her smile off her face, except for maybe one of my signature lifting my leg and letting out one of my loud Kyle farts while watching TV or eating dinner with her. I always had such a special connection with her that is nearly impossible to describe. She was always exactly what I needed her to be in every different chapter of my life. As a kid, my grades and effort level wasn't exactly the best. At that time in life, I needed the more pushy mother who would check progress book every single day and then kick my ass when I wouldn't do my homework, which was often. As I got older, I would somehow find a way to make a wrong turn at every corner, including taking a dump on a kid's bed who has special needs. I needed a mother who would turn me in the right direction. And these last few years, I just needed a mother who was my best friend. And that's exactly who she was. She paved the path for me and made it so the only thing I had to do was walk down it. Even in her last couple months, being able to be by her side every single day, all day long, was such a great blessing to me, and I will never forget what I will think of as our last joyride together. From being with her in every PT session, to being transported in an ambulance with her with the two bozos who we called Tweedledee and Tweedledum, I genuinely had such a great time being able to spend all those extra hours with her. Even my first couple years living in Philly, I purposely didn't bring my car, so I would get an hour of Bari time each time I needed a ride back home. I'll always be so grateful for the time that we had and that she passed along her dashing good looks and amazing dancing ability to me. Although I would have taken a few more inches in height, but that's okay. Some of my favorite memories of her was when we were at camp. She wanted Callie and I to go to camp so badly that she sacrificed each and every summer to work there just so we would be able to go. My mom was the camp mom of boys camp, so she had such a big part in the lives of all my bunkmates and helped take care of us and watch us grow. She became their mother too. I've been receiving so many text messages from the camp boys and everybody at camp just saying how much of a kind soul she was and how much they all loved her. I made so many great memories at camp, and I'm so happy that she was able to witness them all. I also love that because she worked there, I was told every summer by the owner of the camp that I didn't have to listen to her or do as she says. My favorite example of this was when I decided to wear the same exact shirt for 23 straight days without washing it, despite how many times she told me that I'm utterly disgusting, which made her super thrilled. All in all, there's never enough time in this world, and I know she truly cherished every waking second with all of us. Time will always pass, and life will always get shorter, so let's live like her and cherish your moments and tell the good people in your life that you love them. We are all grieving her, and we all feel the pain of her loss. My mom knew how much I love Marvel, so I think it's fitting to slip in my favorite Marvel quote. What is grief, if not love persevering? So this grief that we all feel is a privilege because of all the love we had and will continue to have with her. Mom, you were the epitome of a mother, a wife, and role model, and we will make sure to carry on your legacy. I will miss you, I will mourn you, and I will love you each and every day. And I promise you, I will do my best to continue to make you so damn proud.
All right. Just wanted to make sure that you could see me over the thing here. You know you're just doing that because you need to be taller. All right, I'll lean down like this. All right. Oh my God. I'm just gonna take a second to look at here and appreciate just how many people Bari impacted. And it's not surprising. She was just a ray of sunshine. All right. Here goes. I won't cry at all. All right. Whenever Bari would do something that the kids and I would laugh at her about, I'd say, "I'm sorry, I was only 16 years old. What did I know? Who's going to end up with somebody when they're 16 years old?" I really thought that we were going to have a lot more time with Bari. Maybe more years, more weeks, even a couple of more days. But honestly, it wouldn't have been enough no matter how many more days. So instead, I'm just so grateful for the almost 40 years that we've been able to spend together. From the time when I was a 16-year-old idiot until now when I'm a 55-year-old idiot. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. She's the only person that laughed at everything I said. She's the reason why I thought I was funny. I'm always going to have her giggle and her infectious laugh in my head whenever I say something that I think other people should be laughing about. Bari was so selfless, and she spent 7 summers at Camp Quebec so the kids could experience camp like she did. I was totally against it. I said, I don't want to be away from them. And that wasn't the only time I was so wrong. But at the time, I claimed each summer I was a 56-day summer widow. But I always knew she'd be coming back at that time. And we had conjugal visits on the weekend. So, sorry for all the kids that ended up in her cabin. But I never imagined what being a real widow would feel like. Bari's physical body may be here, and she is now wearing an Ohio State sweatshirt, the Village sweatpants, and surrounded by pillows of her 4 dogs. We also dumped some dog hair in there. Quick side note, when we were doing therapy just about a week ago, one of the things that they had her do was clean or give a bath and brush the dog. And if you've ever done that, you know, you can get dog hair on you. And the people were like getting rollers out. And she's like, "What are you doing? I want it on me. I want to keep the dog hair on me." Her memory and her impact on so many people here will last for as long as we all take advantage of life like Bari did. All right, you too. It's a good thing I have this microphone right next to the nose, and I just. Oh, God. All right. For the last 26 years, I really feel like Bari and I. Hold on. I just need to stop. Yeah. Justin, I need more pills. All right, let's try this again. For the last 26 years, I feel like Bari and I really got this thing right. We wanted to make the world a better place. And we spent 26 years doing the best we could with Callie and Kyle. Bari left us knowing we had accomplished our mission because we couldn't have asked for any better kids, best friends, or just humans. Mommy could not possibly be any prouder of you guys. Kyle took 6 weeks off from his work to care for his mother every single day without hesitation. Kyle, the man that you have become, has really been transformational. You worked on yourself because you realized the kind of person you wanted to be and the kind of parent you eventually will be. You had an amazing role model. And if you take just even a little bit of what Mommy did, you will be amazing. Just remember, though, that she took the bag of weed away from you, and it was me who gave it back to you 5 years later. That must have, I sat right next to my clothes every year, you never knew. And Callie, your sweetness, your stubbornness, but mostly your passion for life meant so much to Mommy. Her biggest wish since the cancer diagnosis was for you to stay in PA school and continue to make her proud. Ben, you've been considered a part of the family for a while now, and Bari knew Callie would be in great hands. There's a ring that Bari wore that is waiting for you. Don't fuck this up. I don't even know what I could say that would capture just how much you both meant to Mommy. This next section was titled Lark, but after I realized how many people came in here from Our Lady of the Lourdes, or help me here, where else? What's it? Yeah, all of her early intervention, I apologize. She's gonna kick my ass later. That's why you read it from the paper. Most people work to live, but with Bari, it really was the opposite. What the Lark School meant to her wasn't a job, it was a passion. Her colleagues became great friends. Her students were sources of such joy and sometimes such sorrow. But she was always so proud of her work there. More importantly, it gave her a boost when she was diagnosed with cancer that she could still work. She didn't miss one day of work during treatments or after treatments. When she was hospitalized at the end of November and she knew she was going to need oxygen, her only concern was, how am I going to work? How am I going to get back to work? So if we could all take a lesson from Bari, it would be to find your passion and make that your life's work. Bari was always up for a party. That never changed from the time she was 16 until 55. She never missed an opportunity to have a good time or make a new memory. And in my family, I always ask people to rank your friends, rank your family, who's your favorite, this, that, and the other thing, because I like torturing them. And and Bari obviously would never do that. And I've never seen somebody who had so many different groups of friends, and each and every one of them, if they were to rank, would put Bari at the top and think that's her closest relationship. And it really was. Whether it was rent a Bari weekend at the shore, or playing canasta with two different groups of her best friends, or going to New York to see Broadway plays, or trying to relive her college days, or going to tailgate at the national championship winning Buckeyes games. Or yes, even driving 10 hours to Michigan with dear friends to see the team up north beat them. She lived every moment to the fullest. She never missed an opportunity to dance. Even when we went to Aruba, she was the only middle-aged woman in the dance contest. Not sure if she won, but for the past 5 months, we've had a village holding us up. And for the kids and I, we will always be grateful. Without the support we had, we would not have been able to get Bari home. She spent 2 months in the hospital fighting to get home. And even though she was only home for a week and a half, she would have done it all over again to see her friends, family, but most of all, our puppies. Joni and Harold, Bari's parents, Gaga and Pop-Pop, both left us way too early. But I'm certain they're with Bari right now, along with Bogey, our first dog, and Mully, our second. Uncle Mitch, I don't even know what to say, so I'll keep it light. Mitch used to come to Bari's house when she was, every weekend, Mitch was at the house. We'd do his laundry at the house, but the most important thing was every time he saw Bari and Heidi, he'd give them $20. Every time. And then when the kids were old enough to know what cash was, he started having to dole out to them. So Mitch, don't forget the $40 today. Heidi, Bari loved her days at the pool with you, or sushi dinners, or just reminiscing about every crazy effing story that you told. And I hope, and I'm sure, after hearing you speak, and I will say, shocked. I was shocked. We didn't know what Heidi was going to say. We rolled the dice. We're like, you know what, she'll go first, and maybe people will forget what happened to the first one. But I hope all of those memories are going to carry you forward, and you know that the dogs and family are here for you every day. How do you turn this off? Sucks being this high. Yeah, it's the first time. Although Bari and I started dating before all of my siblings, they all had children before us. And so we became aunt and uncle. And we loved it. It was truly our favorite thing to be. No offense, kids. It was better. They're less expensive than you guys. From watching Matt be the ringleader of all of the cousins, and from Adara playing messenger, running up and down the stairs, relaying stupid stuff we were saying that she had to go tell somebody else. And watching them both marry fantastic partners, Liz and Ben. From tragically losing Evan, but watching the unbelievable strength of Jeff and Shari show us all how to continue living and loving. Going to Justin and Jenna's match day, and then, which, if you don't know what match day is, it's when you find out where you're going to be a doctor, where you get placed. So it was such a special moment. And then only a few short months later, having them both come to the hospital with us when the doctors were doing rounds so they could interpret what the fuck we were just told. Seeing Zach thrive at Meta and still convinced that that whole drone thing, he was behind. Seeing Jen be her wild and crazy self, and I'll leave out the part about the poll, but also on her way to an amazing career in Boston. Having Lee live with us for a summer and then move out to Colorado, only to fly back multiple times with fingers to give Bari OT, and Lee helped get her home. And Sid, who realizes that 0.5, I may have to explain that. I call Lee 1, and Lee thinks it's because she's my number 1. So I call Sid 0.5. And Lee's like, well, yeah, because it takes 2 of you to be like me. And I said, if you sort it, 0.5 is really in front of 1. And Sid's the quiet, fun, beautiful soul that Bari just always admired. And Sid, you can keep that gigantic bra of hers. I still love that picture of you. Family meant so much to Bari. And each of you guys made her life more full. Almost done. Some people live a very long life and have regrets for the things they never got to do. Bari lived a shorter life, and not because she was 4'10 3/4. Not 4'11", not 5 foot. She also argued when they had her listed 4'10". But she jammed so much more joy and love into that time, more than most people do in a very long lifetime. And she never regretted a thing. I'll leave you all with something that Bari wrote in a letter to me that everyone can learn from. Continue to live your life as I did. Love, laugh, and surround yourself with people who love you. So I'm sorry. I was only 16 years old. What did I know? Well, as Kyle told me the other day, evidently 16-year-old David knew more than we thought because he made the best decision of his life.
If you are able to, we rise for the prayer of our departed, the El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hametzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei HaShechina, Im Kedoshim B'Torim Gezorah Rakia, Mazirim She'alecha Li'olama Barachamim Yasireichu B'Sefer Kinafav Li'olamim Vitzura HaChaim En Nishmata Adonai Hunachalata V'tanu ach B'shalom Al Mishkava V'no more. Amen. In the space provided, please say once again the name that Bari will forever be known to you as in love. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to who has entered eternity. Of God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence, and let her soul be bound up in the bonds of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace. And let us all say, after the cemetery, all those are cordially invited to Bari and David's home at 1545 Chalet Drive in Cherry Hill. Shiva services are at 7:30 this evening. And then tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, all are again cordially invited back to David and Bari's home from 12 noon to 6 o'clock. And may the memory of Bari always be a blessing to you. As we all say, you may be seated.